Hey y'all, guess what? I'm back about 10 minutes later, basically. Thank y'all for tuning in here to the talk. On Highland, we got just some small news to cover today. Will Wade's back at LSU. Bear, when we first had this discussion, and Juicy was there as well, I did not think LSU had the budget in them to make this big run after paying, the Lane Kiffin 90 something, big money, right? With all the buyouts and everything going on. Um, were you surprised they were able to pull this off, Bear getting Will Wade back at LSU?
Well, I remember a couple months ago I mentioned that LSU had to hire new coach.
Juicy, what was your reaction when you heard Will Wade was coming back to LSU? So,
Yeah, so
go ahead, Bear.
no, I was gonna say Will Wade won from 71 was his record at LSU, and then plus you know,
I want to throw this out there to y'all. Did Will Wade, okay, at LSU, I'm not talking about the McNeese situation, I'm just talking about, LSU. Him, getting fired right there. You think what he did gave them an unfair advantage there to prop himself up win and loss wise by breaking the rules at the time, like creating an unfair advantage against the other teams. Do you think that it's kind of like do you think he'll be able to replicate that success with everybody kind of more on even playing ground is what I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, I think so because I mean he went to McNeese and built that program back then. Program never. McNeese meant I think they said that they were before they played. I think they had 20 million dollars or something. I think is what this pledge for him. The other one, like, dang. But yeah, I think that he can replicate the success out of it with the whole NIL thing because I mean, look what he did at McNeese. It speaks for itself. His work ethic, his coaching, his play, his coaching speaks for itself. He can win anywhere he goes. It doesn't matter if it's at LSU, McNeese, or NC State, or even when he was at, he still, you know, managed to get them to a top four 1 year. So I was talking about before the show when I was asked about pretty much like is it the same now since he pretty much
Yeah,
that's what
I think that's kind of like the thing. Like we're talking about Southland Conference competition where he won. I think it was 50 games. Am I correct? I think he won 50 games at McNeese.
yeah yeah.
So SEC basketball is a lot better than Southland Conference basketball. I mean, that's a fact. No one's arguing the fact that the SEC is not lower than the Southland. Um, the competition's tougher, but the ACC, be it as it may, like
And
like how you think that's gonna go? Do you think that they get elevated LSU basketball? Like, do you think they're gonna compete for an SEC title next year, or um they'll be like a in the middle of the pack kind of team next year? I know. Go ahead, Juicy.
finish. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean the kind of bar is kind of set kind of low there. It be it as it may there. I'm No, I mean Lane Kiffin seems like I think Lane Kiffin's got a little bit tougher road to hoe than Will Wade does because Brian Kelly made it to an SEC championship game his first year. Y'all remember that, right?
yeah, but
Mhm. We're not gonna we're not gonna talk about it. That could be used for the summertime. We're gonna have a lot more time to talk about it during the summer when there ain't that much going on in terms of the world of sports, basically, as we get ready for football season as we go ahead here. So let's talk about LSU women's basketball. We're gonna move on to a little bit there. But Barry, you brought up something in the pre-show that I think we can have a little debate about here real quick here. And you want to talk about ADs? What question you wanted to ask Fishbowl Nation?
Well, like, someone in the trying to figure out when you know the restrictions between and I'm thinking the two coaches in the last 6 months. I think you hit 2 for 2. You get two. You have 2 grand slams. All we need is Beth to get fired so we can fix the third hire. And that will really put him ahead of Woodward because Woodward's the three people. Whoever was incriminated. But
I,
all we need is Beth to get fired, and then we can hire a very grand slam hire softball coach.
so you want my
And I
opinion?
think
Okay, wait, go ahead. I thought you were wrapping
no,
up.
I think
So I think that's the problem. You just said the problem. His tenure's so short. I can't compare him to Woodward, who'd been there for years. I can't compare him to Skip Bertman, who was there for years as AD. Um,
um,
so
Skip Bourbon was Skip Bourbon did not make some very good hires. I mean, he didn't.
yeah, Les Miles won a national championship. Went for another national championship in 2011. Paul Maneri. I mean, would you rather smoke the vow or would you rather Paul Maneri?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for,
You would well, if you take it compared to LSU, Paul Maneri at South Carolina because the game is clearly set the bar.
yeah. Uh, I mean, Maneri did play for another national championship in 2017 in baseball.
Yeah, he did make it to the finals, but it is true.
Um,
Yeah, he did.
but I think it's a little premature to talk to say Vern Osberry is the greatest AD of all time because he's only been there for 6 months. I don't think any except maybe gymnastics. Did gymnastics win a national championship in the last 6 months? I can't remember.
Last year they did.
Yeah, but wasn't
And
that?
like 2 years ago, they're in the middle of a dynasty right
Yeah,
now.
but
It's
what
happening.
did they win in the last 6 months? Is my question.
The season's still ongoing, I think.
Yeah, I think they're still going through their thing, but yeah, like I think it's just too early to say that hey they're where they need to be. Like this is where he needs like he's the best of all time. I think you have to give it like well I think we can ask this question another 5 years down the road and just be like
Yeah.
okay.
Lane Kiffin wins one, two of them.
I mean you can make an
That
argument. You could definitely make an
makes
argument
that
Scott
argument.
Woodward's the greatest of all time. AD at LSU. You could make
But
Yeah, you could make an argument
see,
Scott Woodward's like 2019 Joe Burrow, Coach O, the Jay Johnson, the two national championships he won. Kim Mulkey winning a national championship, gymnastics winning national championships. Um,
I think even LSU tennis has won a national title.
so
Which,
I mean
you know,
it's a debate, but let's get back onto LSU women's basketball here real quick here. So Kim Mulkey,
they got a matchup tomorrow night.
yeah, they got a matchup tomorrow night. Juicy, what you think so far with LSU performance wise? Bear's been kind of mean to them. thinking they're going to lose.
Playing, I'd say some right now. What I've seen the first two games of the tournament, they're really playing their best basketball right now. I mean, we always say you just got to peak at the right time. You get hot at the right time, and hey, maybe they turned it up a notch. I'm
Yeah,
hoping so. I'm going to continue to ride that momentum.
that's been kind of one of my things there. Like, are they gonna be able to ride it all the way up to a national championship run here? My biggest thing was I thought when the tournament started, me and Bear was on the show, and I was like, I think Sweet 16 is their cap from what they were playing in the
Yeah,
season, but um, they definitely turned it up the last two games here. Offensive production been good. Defense has been really aggressive, staying out of foul trouble and stuff.
yeah.
I
The
just
main thing they rebounded. They crashed.
yeah. So if they can keep So they're able to do it the last two games. Do you keep it going? Is the question. It's going to get harder to do that whenever you're playing these more physical teams. Whenever you get deeper in this tournament here, can you match them without getting yourself in trouble toward the end of these games where you have to back off and play conservatively? I mean, I think what the thing is with LSU women's and why they're playing loose more now. They don't seem as tense. If the word like they're playing loose, like because it doesn't matter. We lose, we go home, right? That kind of thing, that kind of mentality. I think that's kind of what's propelling them to actually do it. It's always been there. It's just that they were like, okay, we can't like lose this game because it's gonna, just playing tense in the moment. This one, I think they're kind of just enjoying the moment at this point. What do you think, Bear?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're moving a little quick on the floor. Maybe it's because it is losing. It is, win or go home. But season, you know, we win or we go home. We don't have, there's no pressure of trying to win night in and night out to make the SEC tournament and try to beat South Carolina, who two for 57 times, 37, you know, if 15 plays like they did the other night against Tech, they will be good. If they play like LSU in the regular season, where they get foul trouble and they get too aggressive, and then they have to play conservative and they get out rebounded and they get out fed on the floor because they're from and boom, and that's going to be it. But they not a very good when they played them early in the season. And it was a great team either, though. Well, they struggled all season long. Duke got better. LSU better. I mean, we don't know which LSU team is going to show up. If the one that shows up against Texas Tech shows up, then we'll be scoring. If not, we could.
I I think they're gonna continue riding this wave. I mean, I feel like whenever you like the basketball heat stays around a little bit longer than baseball, right? I do think that is part of the deal with them here. I do think they're gonna be in a very good situation here when we get down to it, right? Where when they tip off, because I feel like they're just playing loose at this point. I think them playing loose is the pressure's not getting to them, and I like the freshmen have stepped up here and they trust each other, and I think that's very important to understand because if they're trusting each other and they're just feeling it on the floor, they're trusting it. So I think that's a good way of them like. I think them being loose is a very good thing for them, and they seem like they're playing that kind of way, and it's paying off for them. So, Juicy, what you think happens? You think they beat Duke?
Well, honestly, the way they play right now, and how I give them the win over Duke. Honestly, I had the Sweet 16 as their floor too, before the tournament started. But right now, the way they're playing, out of foul trouble, uh, rebounding nice, out rebound everybody. I'm gonna say they're gonna beat Duke. Honestly, I'm changed my mind.
I think they're gonna beat Duke. I think they'll go to the Elite Eight. I think they're playing with a fire right now that we haven't seen, and I think that's gonna propel them to the next round. I think that's gonna get a little more dicey when you go to the Elite Eight, but we'll see what happens. What you think, Bear?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, y'all convinced. I'm going to be nice based on being fairness to baseball. I'm going to give them the win over Duke. First game, they're going to get the win and move on. But they're going to be fairness to baseball.
All right, and you know what? That's exactly what we're gonna talk about next, Bear. LSU baseball. Oh man, you know what? Take it away, Bear, because I know you got everything pent up.
Oh, boy. Okay. Okay. So, LSU baseball once again struggled to back in. Uh, yes, they got a mid win against a mediocre team, 59 blah. Hoop City blah, Hoop City blah, who cares? Scored 15 runs against that teacher groups, ball down, so I think sports is going to get it out. Okay, here are the numbers that matter from last weekend. 9, the number that you scored. And they scored 9 runs, 27 innings. So he had a 2 point, had a 2.33 ERA, which is very good. 41 strikeouts. Pitching had 41 strikeouts. Only 12 walks. But your offense, the team for the whole weekend, the 2-2 batting average with 3 extra base hits, 1 home run, and only put up 1 perfect number on the scoreboard in 27 innings. That is unacceptable.
So it's the offense issue. It's not really a pitching issue.
Well, they seem like they kind of flip flop honestly between like one week they got the bats, but then they don't have the pitching. Then the next week they'll have the pitching, but don't have the bats. So they are very much Jekyll and Hyde
Yeah.
right now. And
Not as many.
Except for the offense for the weekend, all 9 of the starters, 18 for 89, 202 average.
Tell you what, Bob, if they could just get it all together in the same weekend, I honestly think they'd be really good. I think they'd turn their season around if they could get it all together.
baseball's the sport to do it too.
Yeah. 5 extra, they scored 12 runs, 5 extra bases, 18. They did have 18 walks, they only struck out 25 times, which is not bad. But some other issues to be concerning, your core hitters. Your 3 most veteran guys in the lineup, Milam, Brown, Turiel. You want to take anybody want to take a gander at what they did this weekend?
It wasn't very high. I think they had like a
Four.
1.50.
4 for 29 with a 137 average.
I knew it was bad between all 3 of them. I figured like 150,
Ted
but
Aaron Beatty. Ted Aaron Beatty went 0 for 7. Zach York, 1 for 7 with 7 Ks. He didn't even play the last game. But
Maybe that was a reset for them. They sat him out.
no, not a reset. But you do have some spark coming from unexpected guys in the lineup, like Omar Cerner. Cerner went 4 for 10. John Pearson, 3 for 11. He struck out 5 times, but he did have 1 home run. Chris Standing went 3 for 11 with a home run. In the Vanderbilt series, you had 4 players that reached base with 5 hits. In the Oklahoma series, with 5 hits, players with 5 hits, 0.
Oh, if they could just put that together in one weekend, man, the season would really turn around. They get the hitting and the pitching together at the same time.
Too many balls hit on the ground. Marlon Curiel and Aaron Beatty have a 40 to 50% ground ball rate. Brown, Pearson, and Turner are more like in the 30%, ground ball rate. But yeah, these numbers are scary. Like I said, 18 of 89, 202 average. Here's three core guys. Marlon bounced 4 for 29 with a 137 average. Ted Aaron Beatty 8 for 7, York 1 for 7, struck out 7 times.
Look, be honest with you,
I'm a numbers guy.
I'm not even a numbers guy, man. The only number I care about is them scoring more runs at the end of the game, honestly.
Just in game 2 alone, LSU struck out 13 times. And it was their second straight weekend series with a blown 2-run lead.
Well, let's talk.
All right.
Well, let's talk positive though. Like Jason Evans finally looked like the Friday night guy.
Yeah, well, how about Cooper Moore's out for 3 weeks and who's going to take his place with Cook? They don't have him.
So, what y'all think? Okay, so I have the next series pulled up. I did the predictor. Bear, what you think the predictor thinks?
Yeah, what the predictor says? Who's losing in Kentucky? 2 out of 3.
Oh, you're not gonna like what the predictor says then.
I don't care what the predictor says.
You're not. Look, hey, you said it. You look.
Yeah, I don't even give him a sleep.
You said it yourself. You said you were a numbers guy, and the predictor runs on numbers. And here's what the numbers, what's computed in the predictor says. LSU is going to beat Kentucky on Friday, 5-3. Saturday, LSU's beating Kentucky 6-2, and then on Sunday, LSU's beating Kentucky 7-5.
Well,
Yeah, I don't believe this.
I don't believe the sweep either, but
He was mentioning about Peyton Evans, but here's his numbers from the weekend. He put a real hard strikeout. The only other person to do it He's 3 hits, 72 13. 59% strike rate. He had a 42% whip rate. He threw 79 fastball, 31 changeup, 29 curves. He struck out. Strikeout, 26% with the curveball, 4 strikeouts, and he had 1 strikeout with the slider. 42% chase rate. You want to go with numbers. That's what Chase did Friday.
There was saying that, well, it's just Oklahoma, but that against Oklahoma, a team that has one of the highest.
Now, they did give that the lowest run total that LSU's given up. The LSU pitching gave up since 2022. So, kudos to the pitching all them.
Evans did what he did Friday night.
I think everybody was.
LSU did pitch well enough to sweep this series. They just did not have the answers. Like I said, 9 runs in 27 innings. It's unacceptable.
Think about it. LSU's had chances to win both of these series in conference play. They opened up against State. They led late in both of them. They've had a chance to win both of these series, but they choked them.
So Kentucky
Like I said,
on the road is 7-3 on the year. Their record is 20-4. Their strength of schedule is 114. RPI is 13. When Kentucky plays RPI teams ranked 1 through 25, they're 4-2. 51 through 100, they're 10-1. 101 through 200 is 6-1. LSU's above 100 in the RPI. LSU's above 100 in the RPI range. So, I mean, if you're taking 51 through 200, they're 16-2. That's what Kentucky is. So I do think Kentucky's going to win this series. I do think Kentucky's going to win this series this weekend. just based on what the RPI is showing there. And I mean, these are numbers that actually played there. 16-2. So that's what it's looking like there. So what you think, Juicy?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, what you think is gonna happen this weekend? I got Kentucky winning 2 or 3. Oh,
they're gonna pitch Friday and Saturday. I think they'll finally put the offense together with the pitching.
all right. I mean, we'll see what happens.
15 starts. They get which one show up?
But I mean, if it does all come together, like Juicy, you keep trying to say it, which it could. It's still early enough to where you can make a run and you can really drop that RPI down of your LSU. It's not in a bad. I mean, it's not getting good because you're starting to get into April here. Uh, I mean, you're basically on the doorstep of April. Next weekend, you're in April, so you have to start winning games there in your conference at that point. So, I mean, if they can take 2 out of 3 against Kentucky, that's going to be a huge deal to LSU here, which I think they can, but I'm feeling like Kentucky's going to win it because Kentucky's a very good ball club this year. What you think, Bear? I know you've been kind of negative with it, but I got Kentucky taking 2 out of 3 for the weekend.
Take 2 out of 3. This takes the best. He never had an innings or he gave it 6 runs in 2 innings. And which one's going to show up?
I'm kind of surprised at this.
For 50. And he's given 20 runs. And who's going to be this in the 3? It's going to be Walton's committee. But he's going to put 3 in if he has 6. Little bit of rain, we don't need rain.
You worry too much, man. You worry.
Because they do, we're 100 at that mark in the season. If things don't get any better now, this is what it's going to be for the rest of the year. When it's the rest of the schedule. Teams on the schedule, they're going to win.
South Carolina.
You know, Mississippi State. Yeah, South
And see, man,
You're not. You're not beating Mississippi State. You're not beating Texas A&M. You're not beating Texas.
they
Right.
and Texas have been known to choke later in the year, though.
Texas choked in the postseason. They won the SEC regular and the conference tournament. Well, Vanderbilt won the conference tournament. That's how they got in the regional. But Texas right now only has 3 losses on the year. I mean, seriously.
It's only the 3rd weekend of conference play, man. You worry too much.
Doesn't matter. We're at the 100 at bat mark in the season. If it don't, this is what the season's going to be. Who's going to be your number 3 pitcher? Bullpen by committee. You haven't given your 3 innings, he's shot. Then Kieran comes in. You don't know what he's going to get out of Kieran. Reggie's got commanders. He's 1,500 miles. He can't ever get it. He can't get it over the plate. He can't. It's nobody's business.
Well,
This talent is inconsistent. You don't know what you're getting out of him. You're either going to get 17 strikeouts or 17 runs.
Well, all I know is they have the talent to beat Kentucky, beat anybody on the schedule. He's got to put it together.
Exactly. Or that's an experiment that he needs to go back to Grand Canyon. Those numbers were inflated because of the talent he's facing.
I will. I will say this about like the transfer portal and stuff. You're gonna hit on some guys and it's miss on some guys. Right now, it's looking like York was a miss. I mean, he's still got time to turn it around though. I do think that is a thing right now. I do think he does a pretty good job at first base sometimes, but I do think he does like make errors in the field there too. Whenever they throw the ball, it's kind of low and he doesn't have to quite have to reach to grab it on the ground and stuff. I've seen that in person myself.
He's had a
So, all right, well, let's talk about LSU softball.
Oh, even worse.
Let's see. LSU's 22-10 on the year, 3-6 in SEC play. They did pick up a series win against South Carolina this past week. Ended up winning on Tuesday night against Louisiana Tech. They do take on Oklahoma this weekend at home in the friendly confines of Tiger Park. Juicy, I know you'll voice your displeasure with Beth Arena. I think it's kind of obvious, just based on the stats for the season. Um, so we'll start you off here, but before I go throw it to you, LSU's RPI is 15. Their strength of schedule is number 8 in the country. But if you look at their versus RPI numbers, 1 through 25, they're 1 and 8. 26 through 50, they're 8 and 2. 51 through 100 are 8 and 0, and so forth. Beyond that, they're undefeated past that. So, Juicy, what you think about this upcoming series against Oklahoma? Not the OMG remark.
They maybe paint the Gatorade or something. Put some Nyquil in Oklahoma's Gatorade. I don't know what else to tell them other than simply just run.
Okay, to give Beth a little bit of help here, okay? LSU is 17-2 at home this year. I'm just saying, they're 17-2. Bear, what you thinking?
They can beat 150-0 at home. You're playing Oklahoma, one of the best teams in the country. You struggle against elite pitching. It's always been pitchers against elite teams. Those teams getting swept at home this weekend in Baton Rouge. They're getting swept to Tiger Park. There's no way around it. Juicy's right. They're going to put a picture of an image, the image of a broom on the field. They're getting swept. They are not beating Oklahoma. You might win one game. No, the odds are
I'm not even giving them that.
you may. Like, I'm not even giving them a chance to win one game. I would like to see them win one, but they're not. They're getting swept. You're going to struggle. You might not even. You might get shut out all 3 games. Honestly.
Look, I've seen Oklahoma play. Cajuns played himself in that second game there, and I've seen him play other games too. Um, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be swept, but I don't want to copy both of y'all. I'm gonna give LSU a win on Sunday against Oklahoma. Okay, I do,
No.
I do think they're gonna, I do think they're gonna lose this game. I do this series. I, Oklahoma, they're a dynasty. And rightfully so. I mean, last year they didn't make the national championship game. That was Texas Tech and Texas, but they've had a great run. Very hard to bet against the been there, done that before. I mean, Oklahoma is 32-2 on the year. They're perfect in conference play so far. They've played Auburn and Ole Miss so far this year. RPI wise, if you look at Oklahoma's RPI, it's fantastic. Yeah, their RPI is number 9. Their strength of schedule is a little bit high at 63. LSU has played tougher competition than they have, but RPI rankings against teams, they're 10-1 against RPI teams 1 through 25 and so forth. But they have lost to an RPI team of that was in ranked between 101 and 200. I'm trying to see what team that was. Can't remember who that was, but so Oklahoma has lost they lost to Long Beach State and they lost to Arizona so far this year. That's their 2 losses.
Probably midweek games or something.
Well, Long Beach State was a Saturday game, and Arizona was a Saturday game.
No.
Yeah, it's all non-con. So So to find out what this 100 ranked RPI team, it was Long Beach State because their RPI is 134 right now.
Season right now, they would be possibly hosting a regional with that RPI they got.
As it is right now, and with the RPI, they are very high
That's
up there with
absolutely
RPI.
insane to believe.
Um, I, I mean, but that's the committee don't watch the games. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way that that committee watches the games. Their RPI is 15. I would say it'd be kind of rough for them to host a regional. Uh,
No, 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 they.
it's on the cusp, right? It's on the bubble for sure. But their strength of schedule helps them out a lot, being number 8. I mean, they're 15 in RPI, but I think the one thing that hurts them with hosting LSU softball right now is that 1 through 25 record. They're 1 and 8 against RPI teams 1 through 25, but they are 8 and 2, 26 and 50. 1 and left.
Clear water or whatever.
The Clearwater Invitational, yeah.
He went 1-3. Can you beat the UCF? Like, you don't deserve to have an RPI of 15 and a strength of schedule of 8 when you go to these national tournaments and you go 1-3 or 1-4. No. And then you got shut out against UCLA, you got shut out against Nebraska, and you got, no, it's unacceptable. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable. I'm glad that you have another 500 year in the SEC. There's no way that you can keep your job.
But to be fair, if I'm fair to LSU baseball, be fair to them,
I am being fair.
they have just as they have a chance to always turn around and get hot. Now I don't think it's as likely as baseball, but there is always technically a chance. But
did you miss the thing when I said that opponents have a? Did you miss when I said opponents have a 6.42 ERA on the
no, I heard that.
Okay. Then I didn't say it again. You can be as fair as you want. 5.42 ERA is not going to win many ball games, and you don't disrupt Joe Coleman. You know, 3-9 in conference play after this weekend. Season's over for them too. The only reason why Jay Johnson is wants to have a championship in 5 years. That's Green's been there 15 years. He ain't in OKC what, twice?
Maybe.
And that was 10 years ago.
Well, we'll see what happens on this weekend for all LSU sports here. LSU baseball Friday. Tomorrow we got LSU women's basketball playing. It's gonna be an interesting weekend. We're gonna learn a lot about different things here for the upcoming week here. But I think we've talked about enough here on this episode here. So thank y'all for tuning in here to this episode here of Fishbowl Sports. Hope you have a great and wonderful weekend. We're gonna see y'all here next time here on Fishbowl Sports. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.
All right. Good night. Go Tigers.